Welcome, everybody. We are back with another podcast, and today we are gonna get a little bit tacky, a little bit sciencey, because we will talk about extended reality, meaning virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. We will cover all of these terms, what they mean, and also just some basic science behind. Uh, and our main focus, of course, will be on our opinions and ideas that what kind of possibilities this could open up for the future. And yes, as usual, Domi and Patrick are with me.
Welcome back, guys.
Hi. And so right now we are talking about uh, the future in the films back in 2000. So like when somebody uh, wrote these action films like Star Wars, like not Marvel, Iron Man or Matrix. Uh, well, these are happening right now in this world. So that's technology which they imagined back in those years. Well, we can work with them actually, and it's just fascinating.
Yeah, I can definitely agree because now just if you know Marvel, then you've got the glasses that is worn by Iron Man. Like that's very iconic glass which he wears in the movies. And can you imagine that? Like in a sense, we are making that true. We are making the glass possible. Uh, which is like really things that are were thought to be only in movies now are implemented in technology and it's crazy stuff. Uh, and like all those things which we thought that are gonna be like sci-fi and such are now real, and they will be just bigger and more precise and better. Uh, Quickly, I think because we will mention them, these terms, extended reality, virtual reality, augmented, and mixed. What they mean? As I think important, especially because there is like a misconception which is which. So all in all, extended reality is just like an umbrella term for these realities, and these realities are spectrum, which starts from the real world to the complete virtual world. Um, and like I think I'll have to explain what I mean under the real world. Like what we live in, everything we live in, is the real world, real communication, and all these things. This also includes communication via devices like Facebook and like these kind of apps. And we start from this reality, and then we are getting augmented reality as a next step. Augmented reality means when we project a computer-based image on the real world, with mostly glasses, or like it is mostly done by glasses. Um, and this is like how we are getting towards those virtual worlds, because then the next is mixed reality, uh, which is pretty similar to augmented reality, also referred to as augmented reality 2.0. And it is the same as augmented reality with computer images, on the real world, but you can interact with them. You can freely move them. You can touch them, and you can work with them. So just like you saw in movies when like Iron Man, plans their um, armor, and with computers he did it via just dragging the plans in the real world in 3D. And then there is augmented virtuality. Now we get into the virtual world. So the world is virtual, and in the virtual world we have real world objects. So it's like the opposite of augmented reality. And then the last one is virtual reality, when the world is virtual and everything in it is virtual, our avatar is virtual. And so this is the spectrum. And there are like products for all kind of devices. Of course, I think the most popular ones are within virtual reality, such as Oculus Rift or HTC Vive or PlayStation VR. These are the most popular VRs. And then if we talk about, yeah,
I think the most impact the mixed reality will have in the future. So like with that connection, with that hologram that it puts in the real world, well, that will help the military, that will help the healthcare and the things like that. So I suppose that is the most interesting in between these extended realities, because well, for me personally, I think this is the most futuristic. So like touching something and controlling something that is only shown by a camera. So that seems just well, nearly impossible, but they have done it. So congrats, everybody.
And actually there is like a commercial product which uses mixed reality. It's Microsoft HoloLens 1 and 2, both of them. And also just a last example for augmented reality. The Google Glasses uses, for example, augmented reality. And yeah, I can definitely agree with Tommy, because like mixed reality has lots of possibilities to help building your career, and it has a big impact on working. So like just to make it imaginable, so we use this stuff like Teams every day. It's Microsoft's talking app technically, and we use it a lot. And when you have this mixed reality glass on you, oh yeah, most of these are glasses mainly. So you have this glass on you, then it detects your surroundings, what is around you. It detects objects, it detects everything, and it's important that it's not just a picture. It singularly detects every object. And then you wanna like just project things in front of you. You can use, for example, voice control to it and say open Teams. and you got the window which you would see on your monitor, which is crazy, I believe. And then you can move that screen wherever you want. You can resize it as much as you want, and you can even use it with voice control, which I believe is like crazy, and have so much possibility in it.
Or to give another example, well, I don't think if they are doing it, but just imagine learning how to drive a car without actually driving a car. So like, just you put on your glasses, and that's like the VR. So, but still, it has so much possibilities. So you can learn anything from the comfort of your own house if you have them. But yeah, still they are very, very expensive right now. So mostly they are used by scientists. But sooner or later, they will spread the word. That's for sure, because they are improving so fast and they have so much possibilities.
Yeah, Patrick, any thoughts?
Yeah, I believe like the most interesting part would be, of course, what is happening right now as well. But I'm more of like those guys who really concentrate on the future, and I actually, I really like believe that in the present, it's a great thing that we have augmented reality and glasses like this, and that we can actually try to get into virtual reality more and more every single day. But as I've mentioned before, I'm more of like those guys who really concentrate on the future, and I would say that I'm I'm actually more interested in the part when it comes down to whether we will be able to use it, for instance, in schools, because I believe like privately we've talked about this, if I'm not mistaken, right, Roland?
Yeah.
There was a conversation between the both of us, yeah, between each other, that um as we all experienced, the virus actually fucked up everything that can be like experienced during the school days. And I'm not talking about like the lessons, but it really affects the lessons as well, of course, but more of like the feeling of uh, belonging to like a community, being with your friends, spending time during the breaks and stuff like that. I really miss that. And I'm more interested in the part where we actually are, where finally we will be able to use this technology in order to forget about the shitty stuff like a global virus. So like that we will be able to connect by just using these technology, like with our friends, that actually the whole school, the whole system, like the structure would be the same, so nothing would be different. But and in a way you will be definitely lost, like whether it's the reality or not. And this is the level what I'm really interested in, that like, and I believe that I can ask a question as well, that yeah, I know it's like a little bit early for this question, but it really fascinates me. Like, do you guys believe that in the future we will be able to use that like on daily basis, not just like when it comes down to scientific discoveries and scientific like work, but more of like when we will be able to use this just because we want to connect with other people?
I think there is like chance to it, and they really give chance to it, because of course now it's very a work-based product, and yes, it's like the Microsoft HoloLens costs like $3,500. So it's very a company-based product, or company focused. But I think if you think about it, how internet, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt just in a second. You just literally mentioned more than $250,000 just for one stuff.
No, $3,500.
Oh, 3,000. Sorry, I've just misheard that. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
It's okay. So if you think about it, when the first phones came out, when the internet was released, it was mainly for military, and then for politics, and for huge companies, and not for the regular people. And now this stuff is for regular people. So I don't see why couldn't it be for everybody, or like why couldn't it be like, as phones developed and got less and less expensive, and got the and became part of our everyday lives, and especially because of the popularity of phones, I think there is a chance that it will go with augmented mixed reality, virtual reality glasses as well. Because if they develop enough, I think they can just like replace our mobile phones. Which is like, I know, a very harsh sentence, and like it's so far hard to say if they actually can. But if you think about it, what are we using our phones for? Being contacted with people, or getting in touch with people, and then for gaming, entertainment, social media, and work. And this stuff can be done with reality glasses as well, just better. Like you can communicate, but you can easily call each other. You can easily message each other with voice comments, or even you could just see the other through avatars, like in the virtual reality glass, you would see the person you are talking to in an avatar in front of you. And then about social media entertainment, you could watch anything anywhere. You could see it in every size. So of course it's again way better than your phones. And then about work, I think it's obvious that using our hands to, for example, plan a house. Like, you don't have to use a mouse or a pencil. You can just use your hand to plan a house, or you can just use your hand to drag your daily task into Word Excel, because like you see how many things you have to do, and you just drag it with your hands into the program, and you can see it. Or for example, if you think about creative stuff and creation, then imagine like editing with your hands, that you see the video that you're editing in front of you, and you drag the timeline with your hands, you cut the video where you want with your hands, you resize everything with your hands. So obviously with all this stuff, it just makes it better than with current technology. So I think this is why they could even replace. Maybe they won't, but there is a chance that they will. At least I think we will get using them in everyday life. If we won't, I think that will be because of money. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I completely agree with you. So it will take time. So as I see it, us students will be the last people to get to them, because so like in workplaces there's so much more need for them. When you have to build a house, you have to construct something, that we won't be using them because there's more need in anything else, really. So as I see it, they will get more like in everyday life, but so like one school will have one of these glasses, and to show experiments, to show things that we just can't do right now with this 2D technology. This will be reachable, but still we won't be using them often. So like in school, they will ban it eventually, I'm sure, because of cheating. And I look forward a time where you can't right now you can't use your smartwatch, but when they will ban your glasses from you, that's just hilarious. Because well, yeah, so these will only be used in the high tech in the next years, but then with time, of course, this will be reaching to more much bigger crowds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it definitely does. And like, imagine that we already spending $1,000 on smartphones. So like, I think the gap is not that huge. Because the technological industry is just getting more and more expensive. And the gap is not that huge compared to technology that they embrace. And yeah, thinking a little bit about as what Patrick mentioned, that like using it for communication, and especially like in coronavirus and such. Imagine that how much easier would this situation currently be if everyone who's quarantined just could get an augmented or mixed reality class, and then see all of the others in one room. Of course, you cannot touch them, yes, but still you could see them in 3D in front of you. You could sit down and talk, and like how much more real it would be. And I think also because of coronavirus, the amount that they will develop the technology will definitely increase, because people want to get ready for next pandemic or whatever. for the next era when working from home, when studying from home and such kicks in, even if it's like for just a certain time. And people will be more and more interested in extended reality because it could easily get people closer. But I'm interested in your thoughts on that.
What would you say to those who ask you, who don't agree on that? Because so right now every child is in front of the computer 24/7, and while they are addicted to the screen, and right now the screen is right on your head. Sure, there will be people who won't accept this because it isn't the reality. Because let's stay in our world, that's where we are created, and this will only get people to buy things they don't need. So I'm sure people will say this, and of course, these innovations are always facing with hatred first. But what would you say to them? I'm just curious.
First of
Like-
all, yeah, go on.
Can I go on? Yeah.
Yeah, sure thing.
I would say that like most of the times we've experienced this with a lot of things when it comes down to technology. Most of the people actually was against social media when it was up. Most people like were against the phones. I mean, smartphones and stuff, because they thought that it would actually change the world in a sense that we won't be able to adapt to it, and they were afraid because the technology and the technological industry has got stronger and stronger, and they had more influence all over the world. And yeah, like most of us like afraid of these things, and I would say this hatred, this genuine hatred, or just the like that specific feeling when you don't feel that you should do this one. It's like an indecisive feeling when you believe that it shouldn't be a thing in your life, even though it would be beneficial as fuck. But because of the lack of information that they know about that specific product, is this issue ruins every single like possibility for them to genuinely understand like the mechanics and the technology. And I would just say that what we have experienced with social media is one of the worst things right now, even though most people are addicted to it. But yeah, it's a fact. But on the other side, most people actually don't understand that they are affected, and they are influenced, and they face that specific era of social media when social media isn't that social. And as a matter of fact, you just don't want to be left out. You just want to belong somewhere. And when it's social media, then you want to belong to social media sites. When it's the internet, you want to be part of the internet. When it's like virtual money, you want to invest in virtual money because you don't want to be left out. It's like a ripple effect. It's like the more people get beneficial, get the beneficial side of this. This picture actually will replicate like in a way that most people will actually jump onto these into these things because they see that huge positive influence, and they just don't want to be left out. And this is like what they like, the curiosity and like the basic the basic settings of humans is that we are actually more curious than we should be. We are not curious, but in a negative sense. We actually use a word in English for this. What is this word?
Nosy.
Yeah. We are too nosy. The average person is too nosy, and it's not a good thing. But because of that, we actually eventually became the part of this community, this system as well, because we just don't want to be left out. It's easy as that.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with you, but I want to add one thing, which I would say to these people, if I wanna do it in 2 words, okay, boomer.
Easy as that. Easy as that.
Like literally, uh, people who will say that, and I'm sure a lot of people in our age would say that too, are the ones who will become the boomers, which we call nowadays the boomers, because they hate on social media, because they hate on the internet. You know, the people who send likes on Facebook to every message and such. Um, like let's be honest, these are real things with boomers. Uh, and and of course some of these are just really funny or cute, but especially those people who target technology as the devil, you know, the problem of everything is technology, definitely, or that's what they think. And the people who say to you that, like, when I was young, we played on the fields, you know, with those balls, not on these screens or something. And 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 these people who said that to today's technology are just struggling with everything, like everything surrounding them, because now you have to use the technology. Now you cannot be excused to not use technology, because there is like just literally so few works which does not require a basic knowledge of technology. Um, and
This is one of the reasons I would say that it's beneficial for you to get familiar in an early like phase of these technologies, to get familiar with them, because in the long run it will be beneficial for you as hell.
yeah,
You will understand the mechanics, you will understand the whole structure of the technology, you will understand like all of this stuff that you need to understand, and you will know more.
yeah,
And
like imagine that like people will have to catch up to you, and not you have to catch up to them, because when it started to developing, you already understood, you already started how you could use this. And when it got commercial, you've got years of experiences while they will just start using it. And it can be a crazy advantage in everyday life, and in career as well, of course, and in labor force.
and and also what you have mentioned, Patrick, that this early phase. So this early phase is really a high level. So right now you can well, just picture your room, choose furniture from the store, and put it right into your room and see how it looks and how it fits in the room. And it can be quite beneficial just in everyday life. So like buying a photo, buying a table, or just painting your room. So this is like Sims
Yeah, and
in real life,
I
and
know,
that's all.
exactly. Also, anyone can search how many people downloaded Pokemon Go. That's an augmented reality application. That's like the best example of augmented reality. Just of course with your smartphone. But how many people downloaded it? How many people went crazy for it? Social media was full of Pokemon Go.
How long was it ago? Exactly.
I don't know. Wasn't it like
2 years.
2017 or
Yeah, I would
16?
say it as well.
It was released in 16, but I think it got very popular in 17.
It's crazy. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
4 years. Oh
yeah,
my god.
yeah. It feels like it was yesterday. Yeah, it's crazy, and I would say that, like, back to you, Domi, I would add that, like, right now, I don't believe that we are in like phase one, like level of like augmented reality and virtual reality. I believe, yeah, you've mentioned that it's like a high level of this. I wouldn't say it's like a high level of this. We have leveled up a lot. So I would say like virtual reality was like the early phase was back in the 2010s, I would say. So it's not like
Historically speaking, the first virtual reality glass was like not glass, virtual reality computer was built in the 50s.
oh nice. So like, yeah, the early
Yeah,
phase.
but of course sorry to interrupt, just in the early phase. So like the huge development started in the 2000s and the 2010s. Of course.
Yeah, of course, like the origin is not like what we call, I would say, so the early phase of the technology,
Yeah.
because you really need to, you don't have anything to understand, because you are needed to develop it still. So it's not like a developed, well structured stuff. You need to keep on moving with your work, you need to keep on developing it. And I would say the early phase, yeah, it was like, yeah, you've clarified that it was the 2010s. So like, catching a trend like this is one of the greatest advantages of your life, because you can invest in, you can understand it in an early phase, and then you actually have like most benefits from that. And to all the boomers out there, like, just accept it, I would say. Like, accept that as time flies by, technology actually grows, and it's not a bad thing. We need the latest technologies, we need new ideas, we need like these futuristic ideas, because this is what actually provided, not like provided, but which is needed most of the times. So like, to understand and to understand the astronomy, and to understand how we will be able to actually um, go to Mars and stuff like that, how actually we will be able to like cure those like illnesses and diseases that right now we are not able to. It's not against you, it's like, it's for you. Of course, you might or might not have access to it, but in a common sense, like, it is what it is. You just have to accept it, you just have to live with it, you just have to, like, you don't need to understand it, you just don't. But just try to focus on the positive side of these things, because it's quite interesting. And if you just do one simple research, just one simple,
Yeah,
then
it's always
yeah.
great to know what one thing has in potential. So, what what will happen really in the future, and seeing, so you can prepare, you can really see in the future if you search for these things and just have a quick browsing tour into the internet. So the things in life, the things in the world won't surprise you. You won't just flow, go with the flow. No, you will be really the flow because you know where it's going, and if you know where you're going, you can really have an effect that where you're going. And if you know the destination, then you can really know what to pack in, how to prepare. And this is really what we're talking about right now. So we won't just go with the flow. We will eventually experience that, but we know where are we going. Yeah.
I also um this like huge 21st century openness era and such. So like we saying how much we should be open to everybody, to everything. Or I think this is like very huge, especially in Europe and America. That like be open to the world, be open. Uh, and and this is the same with technology. Be open to technology, not be afraid of it. It won't hurt you. Like most of the time, it won't hurt you. And if you could just get the most out of it, or you can just live neutral with it because like you don't have an access for it, but it does not mean that you should think it's a bad thing. um and we need this sort of openness because if we didn't have this, uh then then for, for example, we couldn't have the internet, which is, I believe, one of the biggest investments of like or developments of humanity. uh and and just think, especially the current situation, how the fuck could you tell everything that happened in the recent year without the internet? No way. And because extended reality, if not the same but a similar amounts of possibilities it holds in, it could literally start a new technological revolution. uh we should we should have the openness towards it, because maybe in 10 years or 20 years it will be the savior of us, because now I think we can say that the internet saved us to just have at least a sort of socialization, and also for you to work and study, um, and and always think that the current technologies went through the same steps as now extended realities, and see how much we use those current technologies. Um, Also, you mentioned doctors, and now I will get a little bit into virtual reality. We didn't really touch that era. Virtual reality is used a lot for education, especially educating doctors, because in the virtual reality world, they can imitate the surgeries they do, which I believe is really huge. Like, imagine that you can start, practicing all this stuff way earlier, because you don't have to practice on a real human, because you can do it in the virtual world, and that's, I think, will bump up a lot the mass in education, which is again not, even if it not directly affects everyone, it affects everyone. Also, there are tests for using them in schools, for just education, because you can do so many good visual representations. Imagine that, like, when you talk about, in geography lesson, when you talk about the Great Pyramids of Giza, you're not just talking about it. You put on the virtual reality glass, and all of you are there in the virtual world and see the Great Pyramids of Giza while talking about it. How much development this has in it, especially for education. Of course, in case of virtual reality, there is the gaming part. I don't know what about you guys, but in this case, I'm not really curious about the gaming part of virtual reality. But I'm not big of I'm not too big of a gamer for that. Of course, I would try it out. Like, it seems interesting. Just, I think you have to be a pretty huge gamer to do, like, regularly play virtual reality games.
I would like to add one note as well
Yeah.
to this, to these thoughts. Like you've mentioned, that you will be able to experience not just like the conversation about, for instance, the pyramids of Giza, but you will be able to go there, of course, just in virtual reality as well, and hang out there with your mates. The one thing that I don't want to actually like, not like experience, but to be influenced by, is like this fake made up something which actually cannot represent the feeling and the vibe of these spots, like, and these destinations of the world, like the pyramids of Giza, the Great Wall of China, for instance, or we can mention like the least visited country, which is actually like a lagoon, like on the east side of the world. So I don't want to be there, like in virtuality, like virtually, but I would like to experience it on my own skin. And I don't care how real it looks. I don't care how it feels when it comes on to wearing a glass, or just like a VR, like, in order to get there. I don't care about this at all. I really want to feel the vibes. I really want to see it with my own eyes. And I would just say, like, I would miss traveling. I would miss the the discomfort of traveling. I would actually miss like all those bad situations that you are in, because you have to solve these problems like in person, and I don't want to like just be there with one click and explore that specific like spot of the world via just like virtual reality. So this is
Well,
this is one of those like sorry for interrupting, just like one thing to add, just like to, this is one of those sides of virtual reality that I don't really want to try.
well, they don't want you to skip your tours to foreign countries. They're offering you an opportunity to try this out, because not everybody will visit the Great Pyramids of Giza. Of Giza, and with that opportunity, with that glass, you can experience it without actually being there. Of course, if you want to feel the vibe, the real vibe, then you will pay for the tickets and go there. But still, if they give you that glasses to in your class. So like without not seeing a presentation about these great things, but actually being there. Well, this is an innovation. So like it's like not seeing them on paper, but on a digital screen. This is the new level, as I would say it. So traveling will stay the same, but imagine when you're getting to home, not turning on the TV and watching How I Met Your Mother for the 5th time, but you can travel to anywhere in the world, and I mean the world. So you can go to the Mars. You have.
And I think both of you are right. And you know, I can definitely agree that it won't replace traveling. It cannot replace traveling. As it won't replace meeting with people, or yeah, these are the best examples, I think. So it won't replace it. It will be a possibility, as just Dome explained. And you know why it won't replace it? Exactly because of what Patrick said. You can't have that vibe, that discomfort, things that you could learn from it. All these things that traveling gives you, all these like problems that come up through traveling, and also just the vibe. It will never be the same, and that's exactly the reason why it's not two things that will replace each other. It will go side by side. And also, I think, especially when we're talking about education, we have to provide as much uh, as much as we can the same possibilities to average children. And I think 90% of the children does not have the possibility to visit the Great Pyramids of Giza. But still, why couldn't they have a possibility to watch it while learning about it? Also, it makes learning way more effective. And I believe that's the great possibility in it, that it won't replace it. It just go side by side the two things. And yeah, this is what I think is really great about virtual reality. Yeah, there will be people who get addicted. Yes, there will be people who will get really bonded to these virtual places, because virtual reality is like literally an escape from the real world, because you won't be in the real world. And this will cause, I believe, a serious issue, but in smaller scales that's already presented with smartphones, I believe.
Yeah, I could agree with that, just like partly, unfortunately, because, like, yes, you've mentioned that there will be some addictions, there will be those people who actually won't be able to be an operating part of the society because of these stuff. And the unfortunate thing is that it's not just about addiction, it's about, like, I'm gonna be like right now like the devil's advocate, but because I have other thoughts considering this, what I'm about to say, like, but you just have to understand that this type of addiction that we have right now, like, addiction because of social media, addiction because of these social sites, and addiction caused by virtual reality is not the same thing. And it's not just about the addiction, but it's about real mental disorders, and it's about the mental hygiene that is ruined because of virtual reality. And believe me that most people will fall into this like part of virtual reality, because we are already live like that life that we don't have to struggle that much. We are provided a lot of things. We don't have to operate as our ancestors. We don't have to care about survival and stuff like that. So we live like a comfortable life, which is indeed too comfortable. And like scaling this convenience on another level is like one of those bullshit things that I just wouldn't be able to accept, because as just like Domi mentioned, that when you go to home back from work, you're finally back. Instead of watching something on Netflix, just you can travel to other countries as well and experience it through virtual reality. But on the other hand, like, and you've mentioned, guys, that it wouldn't affect like and influence the transportation and traveling. It definitely will, because of those people who are already too comfortable with their life, and they will actually they eventually they will try to like be more and more comfortable, because this is how their life works. And most people do this.
But I think especially those who just live in their comforts, they're not traveling now either. And yet, I can agree with the fact that yes, yeah, it will cause serious issues. You could like, I think maybe it's like combining drug and smartphone addictions. If you got
Yeah,
addicted to it, like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it would be the combination of those two, and yeah, that's seriously problematic. Uh, and now I can just raise the question that, do you use technology or technology uses you? You know, this is
True.
yeah. So this is the question, and yeah, it's an issue, and it will remain as issue. Um, and like I think we just like unable to anywhere defend this. The only defense against this is education. Like with any addiction, the only defense against them is education. Letting people know the side effect, letting people know that yes, if you are too much in virtual world, then you can hurt yourself.
This phrase like education is so like unimaginable for me. The unfortunate thing that, have you experienced, like, guys, have you experienced any kind of education considering latest technologies, social media, the internet, how to use it, how to browse, how to get information, how to do your own research? Have you?
They tried. So I've seen some tryings to teach something about that, but unfortunately, we knew more than the teacher, and well, that didn't made it up, because no, they are just not have seeing the whole picture. they are not taught them about these things, because they learned the stuff they are teaching back in 5, 10, 30 years ago. And most of my teachers don't keep learning about these technologies, or they just don't teach them to us. I will come back to this, but I wanted to mention another problem that I wanted to explain. So, like, what I experience in nowadays, that we are keeping more and more distance between people. We are getting more uncomfortable with human connections and contacts. And with this technology, where you can really meet another person without actually meeting them, well, this will only move this scale to another level. And I'm afraid of that, to be honest. I don't want people to really staying in their zone and just don't connect to others. Of course, that can be a downside of this. Not a really strong argument, but I wanted to mention it, just to maybe it will start some thoughts or something like that. So sorry.
I think what you're saying is definitely true. As smartphones did so, it will be no similar with extended reality. There is high chance that extended reality will make relationships more remote than they are now, and that's an issue. Like I can 100% agree with that. It is an issue. But also raising the same question as we're traveling, it will never replace meeting with people. It will never be the same. And yes, people who only able to stay in their comfort place will just use the technology to completely miss out on meeting with people. But those who know that like life is more than your comfort and your comfort zone will meet with people, because extended reality won't give them the same experience. Yeah, I think if we so of course, as with every technology, it will raise side effect. But I think we shouldn't also forget about what we experienced with computers, internet, smartphones, social media was in an era where before such things weren't presented. But extended reality will come in an era where such things which make relationships more remote are already presented, and a lot of people know how to use it, because back then a lot of people didn't know how to use it, but now we know them, or like lots of people, of course.
Or more or less, yeah.
yeah, so of course, it's like we cannot talk about everyone, or I think we sadly cannot even talk about majority of the people.
Yeah, so this problem is everybody's own responsibility. So the science will gave us an opportunity that we will have to use, right or wrong, and it's our choice to really use this as a great helping tool, or really just fuck around with it and well, don't know how to use it well, because it can be told by everything. So like telephones, computers, rockets, and things like that. We don't want. I would say, why would we stop growing as in scientific results? Because something will happen in the future that has a downside when we can actually. So we are improving, and that will lead us to a better life. If we stop this process, this will only have a big bad influence on us. Why would we stop? And also, we won't stop, that is for sure, because it's our responsibility to also create new technologies, to create new opportunities, and find new solutions to the problems that we face more and more.
Yeah, I can definitely agree. I could compare this as like, personally, when you're talking about a specific person and their life, you tell to them that like, if you don't take risks, then you're not even trying. Then you won't move forward. It's the same with the whole humanity. If we don't take risks, we're not even trying. We won't improve. And honestly, if something would suck our situation up, if we wouldn't improve, like, that's just straight up would be the worst case scenario for humanity if we stopped improving. Because new challenges come, as we can tell, in the 21st century as well. We've got so many new challenges which we've got to face somehow. Guys, any further thoughts on the topic?
I think so. It's for me.
Then I think we can get to the end of this podcast. We are at like 1 hour 10 minutes. I think that's sort of our usual time. And yeah, so as usual, thank you for the attention and watching this podcast. I hope you enjoyed this sort of techie and sciencey stuff. I think it's a really, really exciting topic. If you want more of this, then hit us a like. Also, if you enjoy our content, then a subscribe is very appreciated. And if you want to get notified, then be sure to hit that bell icon. Also, if you want to give your biggest help to us, then please share this podcast or any of our content. That helps incredibly a lot. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And as usual, see you the next time.
Have a great day.
See you guys.